A cow delivered a set of twins some months ago. So when she fell pregnant again, was her owner expecting another twin? Well, when he went to check, he couldn't stop screaming. David and Julie Ingram were a beautiful and happy couple. They shared the same dreams, values, and passion. They were animal lovers. And you know that thing they say about two heads being better than one? Well, it worked perfectly in this situation. Since this couple both loved animals, they worked together to establish a cattle farm at their property in Bonang in East Gippsland. It's always been my dream to own several cattle, and when I met Julie and realized she loved animals, I just knew she was the one. Ever since, we've been doing great things, David explained. This couple was also successful in their animal rearing business. Since 2018, they've recorded 12 sets of twins. And in 2019, they also had 8 other sets of twins. We aren't sure why this happens, but we consider ourselves very lucky. The cattle are well taken care of. We love them like our own kids. So let's say that's their little way of paying us back, Julie said. While this couple was used to this cow giving birth to twins, in May of 2019, they got the biggest surprise of their lives when the pureblood heifers fell pregnant again. Julie was the first person to notice this cow was pregnant. She had a sign she always looked out for and was always right. Julie had lived too long with animals to require a medical test to know if they were pregnant. She has this trick she uses, and she's always right, David said, explaining how she easily detects when a cow's pregnant. Julie said when a cow is in heat, or estrus, you'll notice certain physical changes. Some of these changes include a swollen vulva, tail chalking, and increased vaginal mucus. So, when their cow fell pregnant in 2019, Julie noticed she had increased vaginal mucus. When she saw this, she rushed into the house and happily broke the news to David. Now, each time a cow fell pregnant, the couple usually celebrated in very simple ways. Sometimes they took strolls reflecting on the past, and other times they cooked their best meal together. A few days later, they did an ultrasound, and it turned out Julie was right, as usual. The cow was pregnant. The couple started putting plans in place for the arrival of the calves. They set up a little paddock near the house with good feed. You see, while Julie was the first to discover the animal's pregnancy, David also guessed that she would have more than one animal. A night before the cow went into labor, David told his wife, "There will be a set of twins." But she said, "I don't think we'll get so lucky this time around. She had 2 the last time." "Well, we'll see," David responded, and the couple retired for the night. The following day, the duo woke up to check on the animal as usual. Neither of them knew the cow had given birth because she wasn't due yet. On getting there, they were shocked to see that the cow had delivered. David first spotted 2 of the calves, and then we saw another one. And Julie screamed when she saw the 4th one. It was very unusual. I've never heard of 4 before, David said. Apart from delivering all by herself, something even more beautiful had happened. When the couple picked up the animals, they realized the cow had cleaned all 4 of them, and she had even fed them all by herself. It was such a beautiful and sweet act. We felt very proud of her at the moment, and she is a great mother, David said. The cow produced 2 heifers and 2 bull calves. But since the cow had given birth prematurely, they were worried the calves wouldn't survive. Later that evening, they took all the animals into the house, put them in a shed, and left them close to the house. Some days after, the couple also decided to leave the strongest calf with her mother and take in the remaining 3 as potties. The quadruple birth has sparked the curiosity of veterinarian Peter Alexander, who's been practicing in the Beggar Valley for over 40 years. Normally, a cow will ovulate 1 egg at a time, so there's only really a chance of getting 1 calf. This would mean she ovulated 4 eggs rather than 1, he said. Definitely a good thing this cow defied the odds. David and Julie are now spending more time focusing on her health so she can reproduce in the long term. She's just over 4 years old and she's had 6 calves, so I think she's going pretty good, Julie said. When this couple also went to check on their sheep after she had given birth, they were in for quite the shock. Mandy, 66, and her husband Chaz, 77, lived at the Bridge Hill Farm in Sussex. The couple started their lives together at an early age, and they shared a lot of memories together, both the good and the bad. She's always been there all along. We have seen so much together. Grandkids, great-grandkids, and of course we've seen so many animals put to birth. We have carried countless animals in our hands. Some we owned, others we rescued, Chaz said. While this couple had done a good job helping animals to give birth, they were taken aback when one of their ewes gave birth. We've had this farm for over 32 years. We've never seen anything like this before. It's a 1 in a million chance, Chaz said. Mandy and Chaz always loved the thrill of suspense, so whenever their animals got pregnant, they never went for a scan. We found it very exciting not knowing the number of the animals the ewes would produce. Sometimes Mandy would guess correctly, and other times I won. Doing this together has just been a fun activity that brought us closer through the years. I've always liked her facial expression each time she guessed the number correctly. That smile's never changed, even after several decades, Chaz explained. So, when this ewe fell pregnant, as the usual practice, they didn't carry out a scan. When the animal was approaching her due date, they kept her in a field, and each of them took turns in looking after her. After what seemed like an eternity, the ewe finally went into labor. The couple made sure they checked on her every couple of hours. Each time they went, they were met with a surprise. Mandy was the first one who saw that the animal had delivered a lamb when she went to check. However, to her biggest surprise, the ewe's stomach was still a bit protruded. Seeing this, she guessed the ewe would have another lamb, and happily told her husband that they could expect one more. However, what happened next made this couple go crazy. When Mandy went again, she saw that the ewe had given birth to another lamb. "Yep, there it is, no more lambs," Mandy said, and went inside thinking the ewe was done giving birth. Meanwhile, this animal was only just getting started. An hour later, Mandy went back to check on the ewe and couldn't believe it when she counted the lambs. I was totally out of my mind. I couldn't understand it. There were 5, and I just kept counting. Each time I did, there were 5, so I screamed out loud, and Chaz came running, and I showed him. He was so shocked, she explained. The ewe gave birth to 3 boys and 2 girls. The excited couple took the lamb into a pen where their daughter Freddie, 25, helped to feed the little ones on her lap with a tube directly into the stomach. What's even more surprising is that she didn't even look big. We weren't even expecting 2. How did she keep 5 babies in that little stomach? It was very amazing and incredible, Chaz said. Throughout that night, Mandy and her husband didn't know if the lambs would survive. They were quite pessimistic about the situation. However, when they went to check the following day, they were glad to see all the lambs happy and healthy. One of them has gangly legs, but the beautiful thing is he's the runt of the litter and still keeps up with the others. The family spent time bottle feeding the ones who looked hungrier, but all the animals remained healthy and safe. Most ewes give birth to only 2 lambs at a time, and quintuplets are rare, especially if they all survive. What's the highest number your animal has ever given birth to?